Hi there folks, welcome to another video by the brilliant expat Taffy. A video titled Bertie Slack's 500mm trauma fake photos. Now folks, this video where I'm going to prove to you what a mentally insane psychopath Bertie Slack is and what a liar he is. He's a liar who states that this camera and this lens was sent to the moon to take photos during Apollo 15, 16 and 17. Now folks, I'd already done a set of videos titled NASA's 500mm lens of lies, proving that this lens never went to the moon and that all the photos claimed to have been taken with it are fake. But we've got this idiot Bertie Slack who disagrees with a lot of the evidence I put in them videos. So what we've got here now is another set to show you what a liar and an insane idiot he is. Now folks, before I go delivering more evidence of fakery, take a look at the script coming up here now, and you'll see what a liar, a fraudster and a criminal this Apollo 15 Commander Dave Scott was. Read the script here and get the true information about this criminal. He is no hero, folks. Now, before we check the script, just look at this lens and you'll see it's got grey tape wrapped around both ends of it. What they're claiming is there was dust on the lens from the moon and they wanted to keep the dust on there, so they put the tape on top of the dust to maintain the dust. Now, let's read the script regarding this lens, folks. In October 2015, Boston-based RR Auctions set a new record for astronaut memorabilia when the only privately owned watch to be worn on the moon sold for $1.6 million. This watch, which was flown on Apollo 15 in 1972, is now followed to the auction block by a Zeiss telephoto lens from the same mission. The Zeiss Teletesa 500mm f8 lens by Carl Zeiss AG was used by Mission Commander David R. Scott with a Hasselblad camera body to set a new standard of photography on manned lunar missions and is expected to fetch around $500,000. There you are, folks. There's a man, Dave Scott, that idiots and NASA shills like Bertie Slack and Joan Evans considers to be a hero, when the man is nothing but a criminal who should be spending the rest of his life behind bars. He's a fraudster and a thief and a liar. The man is no hero, folks. Now folks, let's see what else this idiot Bertie Slack have got to say, shall we? Oh, and before we do that, let me mention what you're seeing coming up now is a section from the previous video, volume 1. So hilarious, so amusing, I reckon it deserved a rerun. Because it's very amusing and you're going to enjoy it.
Well, what can we say about that?
One thing we can say is, oh my god, this sure looks jolly. Could it be the face of a golly? He's got 2 eyes, a nose, and a smile that is pink. Something that was meant for you, I think.
Good golly, Miss Marley, sure like the ball.
Take a look at this. We all know what was popular in the 70s, don't we? We had gollywogs everywhere. Look at this. Could this be one of Kip Teek's whistleblower's clues again? A gollywog with 2 eyes and a mouth, and one eye shut and the other open, and he's winking at us. Same as he's used in other photos that I have shown. Even a photo of a pig winking at us. What the hell was this piggy thinking? As he was filming him, he started winking. And nobody here, Bertie, is denying that. What we are saying is you are a liar and a mentally insane prat. And what I have shown in the past, this photo is fake and the evidence is vast. Something, Bertie, never spotted by you. The camera and the lens are the colour blue. And here's the one you claim they took to the moon. Look at the colour, you stupid goon. It's definitely not blue, is it? It's silver grey. And according to Hasselblad, the only colour they made the cameras was black or silver grey. So for this photo being genuine, Bertie, I say no way, no way, no way. As I've proven with 4 videos so far, this 500mm lens story is nothing but fabrication, because the photos were not taken in the moon's location. So there, Bertie, let's get some real confirmation. Confirmation of the photo's true location. If they were taken here on the Earth, how the hell can you claim that the camera went to the moon when all the photos were taken here on the Earth, idiot? Here you are, folks. We're going to start off with this photo. AS15-89-12070. It's Apollo 15, magazine 89. According to the transgender Bertie Slack, it was taken on the moon with that 500mm lens. Now, let's examine this photo very carefully, shall we? And see what we can find in this. Take a look here, Bertie Slack. There you are. Here's a section of that photo here, Slackass. And we've got 2 man-made metal objects. Down in the bottom, we've got a metal ring, a key ring with a key on it. And up at the top, we've got a foot pedal. Maybe some vehicle or some other operating machinery, but definitely a foot pedal. There you are, tranny Bertie. Enlarged for everyone to see. Pareidolia to you, but it definitely isn't to me. There you are, Bertie. Do you recognise this thing? To me, it looks like a key on a ring. A man-made object. Once again, I wonder if it's the key that'll unlock your brain. Here you are, Bertie. We now look at AS15-89-12073. Another Apollo 15, magazine 89, claimed by an idiot like you to have been taken on the moon with a 500mm lens. Now I wonder what this photo is going to reveal, Mr. Mentally Insane Transgender Bertie Slack. Well, Bertie, are you ready for the surprise? Plenty of surprises in this photo, as you've seen in the past. Pareidolia, you claim. Now, according to you, Bertie, this was taken with that 500mm lens a mile away. So how can you have 2 landscapes, a straight line along the bottom, an out of focus and an in focus, in a straight line like that, Slackass? I'll challenge you or any other professional photographer to get that result over a mile distance. Completely fake, as we'll see with the other clues in it. And you know what's coming up next, don't you, Bertie Slack? The middle arrow pointing up shows what I've displayed as a ball joint on a plate. And you know what the top arrow is, don't you, Bertie? That's your dreaded 15-foot-long rock. There you are, folks. There's the first clue in this photo. What you've got here, on the industrial waste dump, Cinder Lake City, Flagstaff, Arizona, a metal object, maybe off a car or something, but you've got a flat plate with holes in it and a ball joint bolted through the middle. A swivel ball joint, folks. Well there, Bertie Slack, you stupid goon. How did these metal objects get up on the moon? Are you going to say the same as Astro Brandt, that aliens dismantled the car on the moon? And here's the next one, Slackass. AS15-89-12075. Again, double exposure, backdrop, landscapes. Impossible, the bottom out of focus to the middle. Completely impossible, Slackass. But what's in this photo? Let's take a look, shall we? There you are, mentally insane transgender Bertie. Two metal objects here. The bottom arrows pointing to some rectangular plates of some kind, and the top arrow pointing to a 45-degree pinion wheel, a gear wheel. You are slackers. Here's another one, AS15-89-12077. Here's the one where we've got a post by Phase 52. You can't just claim something you pulled out of the air as evidence. Sorry, phrase, I didn't pull these out of the air. They were dumped on the waste dump at Flagstaff, Arizona, and photographed there. And idiots like you claim they were taken on the moon. So, what have we got in this one, slackers? We've got two objects here. The top arrow points to a rectangular plate with teeth on it, most probably a die out of a screw cutting machine. And the other object, well, I wouldn't know whether it's metal or whether it's concrete, but it's obviously a decorative object of the head of a snake. And another magazine 89 photo, slackers, a component left there by aliens who dismantled a car, according to Astrobrandt. It's a brake caliper. You can see the two holes that holds the pins for retaining the pads. And what about this one, slackers? Looks to be what may be an old style steering box of an old car or something. But whatever it is, it's got a perfectly hexagonal oil filler plug on the side. And what about this, slackers? Again with magazine 89 that you claim was taken with that 500mm lens on the moon. What have we got here, slackers? We've got some type of fancy penknife. You can distinctly see the can opener on the left. You can see the blade on the right. And examine it more carefully, it's got a groove all the way along to put your nail in to pull it out. And whatever type of penknife this is, we can distinctly see a face on it. An eye, a nose, a mouth and a chin. Well, slackers, remember what you were saying about seeing faces on the moon? Let's prove what an idiot you are by you saying you can't recognize a face on that penknife. Now, transgender Bertie, what about this photo? You know what's coming up now, don't you? AS15-89-12140. The one that Kip Teak gave us a marvellous collection, and all ready for careful selection. This is the one with the tapered lever, and you remember what you said, slackers? It's a rock that's 15 foot long. A rock that's 15 foot long, and by the side of it, it's got a door latch, which must be about the same length. A door latch that must be about 15 foot long, so it must have been off a bloody big door, slackers. Looks like it must have been the door to the gateway to heaven, where NASA knocked it off to try and gain entry for you when you was refused. And what have we got more in that photo, slackers? More discoveries by the brilliant expat Taffy. More clues by the brilliant Kip Teak. As you can see, the two bottom arrows is pointing to what looks to be the skull of a sheep or a horse. You can distinctly see his two eye sockets. You can see his front teeth, his mouth, and above that, a black shadow in the shape of a chicken. Look at his head. He's got a beak, provided by Kip Teak. He's got a white eye with a black pupil. He's got a neck, he's got a body, and underneath he's got two bent legs, and bent the same way as a chicken's legs would be, slackers. Now, folks, regarding this magazine 89, which, according to the mentally insane Bertie Slack, the photos were taken with that Hasselblad camera with a 500mm lens, why would Kip Teak insert the face of a baboon in his photo markers? And here, slackers, you stupid prat, a photo you claim was taken with that 500mm telephoto lens. Tell us, slackers, you stupid chump, can't you recognize an industrial waste dump? How can an asteroid scatter rocks around and leave such a pattern on the ground? Study it, slackers, you stupid chump. What we've got here is the industrial waste dump. You got a strip of rubble and a gap, a strip of rubble and a gap, a strip of rubble and a gap, a strip of rubble and a gap. There's only one thing that can create a pattern like that, you stupid idiot, and that's this. It all depends where the dumper truck dumps it, you mentally insane idiot. Okay, we're nearly at the summing up stage with this video. Bertie Slack's 500mm trauma #2. Let me say that in volume 1 I dealt with deliberately inserted whistleblowers clues such as faces of animals, humans and other objects. Now what we come to here now so far is I've dealt with the most irrefutable evidence that this camera never went to the moon, that Bertie Slack is a mentally insane transgender idiot and a liar, and the Apollo landings were fake, because what I've dealt with so far is magazine 89, which is the most popular magazine for this 500mm lens camera. And what can be easily seen from every photo in that magazine 89 is every photo is fake. Every photo was taken on an industrial waste dump at Flagstaff, Arizona, because they contain thousands of man-made discarded metal objects, and they also contain a number of deliberately inserted whistleblowers clues, again such as faces, animals, chickens and quite a lot more. Proof that the photos were deliberately CGI created on a computer from photos taken on an industrial waste dump on the Earth. So there is no way this camera went to the moon and took any of them, because every photo in 89 is impossible to have been taken with a camera. Now, there are other magazines in the 3 missions, besides the Apollo 15 magazine 89, that it was claimed this camera was used to take photos on. But, amazingly enough, they've all got something entirely different from the ones in magazine 89. And that is, they are all bland, empty photos, no detail, and virtually no whistleblowers clues whatsoever, as you will see from a number of photos coming up. Now, take a look at this photo here. This is AS15-82-11214, taken with Apollo 15 magazine 82. And strangely enough, for magazine 82, only the last 14 frames on that reel were supposed to have been taken with this 500mm lens. And what they claim is they took them last few photos from inside the lem, through the lem window. So if that's the case, shouldn't they be the last ones to have been taken on the moon? How come there's more photos taken after? Because there's no record of them getting into the lem, getting back out, and then getting back in again, is there? And take a close look at that photo here. What are these 4 bars or square boxes up in the top of the photo? And I can tell you this photo has been photoshopped. Like I've shown here, it's supposed to be taken with that 500mm lens. And here's the metadata. You can see it's been photoshopped. And coming up, there you are, the close-up for Photoshop. Adobe Photoshop, folks. Now folks, take a look at this one. This is AS16-105-17152. Now, they're also claiming that this magazine for Apollo 16 105 was also taken with a 500mm lens. And look what we've got. Can you see it? Look what we've got right in the middle. Yes, here he is again, folks. in Apollo 16, magazine 106, the next magazine. The winking pig, smack in the middle. If he had a pair of hands, he would be playing the fiddle. And here's one thing Bertie Slack claims is pareidolia, and you've got it in magazine 106, and as you just seen, it's in magazine 105, which Bertie Slack, the idiot, claims was taken with that 500mm lens. And again, photoshopped, as you can see, folks. Here you are, Bertie Slack, the two winking pigs. Once in Apollo 16, magazine 105, which you claim was the 500mm lens camera, and Apollo 16 106, which is not the 500mm lens camera. You're two winking pigs, Bertie. Now, next photo I want you to look at here. Again, Apollo 16 magazine 105, claimed to be taken with that 500mm lens. And what you can see in here is, it's part of the industrial waste dump. What you can see here is man-made metal objects. What you've got there is obviously a paint scraper. A paint scraper, the handle and a triangular head on the end for scraping burnt off paint. Now folks, just take a look at this photo here, AS16-106-17241. No, it wasn't taken with the 500mm lens. But I'm showing you this because it contains a post from that mentally insane, transgender psychopath Bertie Slack, where he accused me in the past of using non-NASA photos. Let's read his text, shall we? Use original sources of the highest quality. Provide links to your sources. Tell the world what tools you are using when you make your misinterpretation. Instead, the brilliant expat Taffy uses any old photos. And there you are, in blue is my reply. You are a liar as well as a mentally insane idiot. I only use NASA photos from the following sites, liar. And here they are, folks. Here's the sites I use. Number 1, the Project Apollo Image Gallery. Number 2, the Apollo Lunar Surface Journal. And 3, the Apollo Image Atlas. That's all I use. Now, as I said earlier, there are other magazines that were supposed to have been taken with this 500mm lens, but like I just said, none of them like magazine 89. They're all bland, contain hardly any detail, and all of them are photoshopped, and all of them are a waste of time bothering with. Take a look at this one here. Now, this is Apollo 16, magazine 112. 112 was supposed to be all taken with that 500mm lens. But look at this, folks. Quite bland, nothing of any interest. And you know, in that magazine, 17 of the photos show a spotlight, as this one is showing here. One thing common throughout Apollo 16, magazine 112. And another thing about every photo in magazine 112 for Apollo 16, they've all been photoshopped, as you can see here. And here we are, a close-up of that Photoshop data. Now folks, another magazine claimed to have been taken with that 500mm lens is Apollo 17 magazine 144. And like I said earlier on, these Apollo 17 ones are not worth bothering with. They're nothing but bland, empty photos, very uninteresting, no detail, and as I've shown you, all photoshopped, all faked. And here's another photo from that magazine 144, 22126. Now I've thrown this one in for a very special reason, folks. And the reason I've thrown this in is, if you've watched that idiot Bertie Slack's videos in the past, that idiot never tackles the irrefutable evidence. He's always looking for contentious issues. He's always being very selective. So I've thrown this one in here that we haven't got an answer for. What the hell is this black object at the bottom of the photo? Now, because we haven't got an answer for that, you can bet Bertie Slack will pick on this and say, it's the shadow of the aliens who were flying overhead as they were observing the astronauts. He'll make up any excuse to cover for this anomaly in this photo, rather than admit that it is fake. There you are, folks. That concludes Bertie Slack's 500mm trauma #2. From what you've seen of the photos so far, how many of you are convinced that this camera went to the moon and took those photos? Now what I'll do, in the pre-report, I leave links to all the other videos connected with this camera and this lens, folks. You can check every video. There you are, mentally insane transgender idiot Bertie Slack. No way did this 500mm camera go to the moon. All the photos were faked here on the Earth, CGI and photoshopped. And the most important photos are the ones shown on the industrial waste dump at Cinder Lake City, Flagstaff, Arizona.
But make no mistake, we are at war, and our civilization is under attack. And there are 3 prongs to this offensive by the globalists. Number 1, destroy the family and societal norms. Say marriage is old-fashioned. Say, we won't make Father's Day cards this year at school, kids, because half of you haven't got a clue who the hell they might be. Say, it takes a village to raise a child, and then find out the product of that village is actually an idiot. Say that men are now women and make being trans a movement. For the unacquainted, the trans movement is in fact a euphemism. A wordplay designed to make the shared beliefs of the mentally unstable sound like a shipping company that's going places. UPS, DHL, the trans movement. The trans movement is no such thing. It is a perversion of our very selves. It states that biological sex and gender are 2 different things, and that gender is a linear scale of masculinity and femininity, and we all identify with the gender that we feel. Hence, we must now respect that David is called Daniela because that's what he felt like when he woke up this morning, scratching his testicles, trying to shove his morning glory into a lace-fronted thought. Too much? Too much. Pull it back.